Hey, Big Love fam. Welcome to Super Freak. This is a high vibe podcast, y'all, exploring all things frequencies, how they govern form, shape our realities, and are the key to living from your full potential. It's non-woo convos about super woo shit, unpacking what I call the science of self, from body and soul literacy to the power of understanding vibration, higher consciousness, quantum physics, and spiritual psych. Let this podcast become a resource for you on your journey to self-mastery. If you're curious and ready to free your mind, unlock the body, and truly become limitless, then you're in the right place. I'm your host, Tally. This is Super Freak, Awakening for the Next Gen. Let's go.
The Cult of Twin Flame, Part 2. Can I tell you, I had no idea that Netflix had even done something on it until someone said that to me. Talk about timing. In my last video, I talked about what establishes a cult, essentially, and how cults come to be, because I talk about sacrifice patterns and control patterns from religion in my book, and how cults have become a derivative of that patterning. Again, anything can become an extreme belief. Even human design can become a cult if you take it that way. All of this has to do with how much you outsource your own power. But the idea of twin flames is literally a new age concept that has been taken wildly out of context. By the way, this is going to be a little bit of a longer video, but I think it'll be worth it to flesh out the ideas. First, let's just break down from what I've seen in sessions with people who tend to run some type of cult patterning. Number one, those folks come from religious backgrounds. Whether or not your parents are actively in any kind of practice now, it doesn't matter. It can go back to your inception point as a soul with regards to religious indoctrination and buy-in. I myself came from a religious family. I had buy into this shit too until I realized it was deceptive. Moving on to number two, people fall prey to twin flame, also run victim and martyr patterns. Number three, they were raised with an absent and or narcissistic parent. This is where grandiosity narcissism comes in. Those who create a false self and think that they have done nothing wrong. This is essentially what the twin flame deceptive cult-like template is. It's a false self. Number four, they have abandonment wounding with a deep desire to be recognized and seen. There's something within people who have buy into twin flames that would love to think that they're like the other half of their, complete reflected mirror soul is out there waiting for them. That they want that aspect of love. They want that deep recognition. They want to have themselves reflected back to them, essentially. This is where the danger comes in, because nothing is outside of you. You are complete within yourself. And yes, it is about, let's say, two complete souls coming together, but not under the guise that we have been told to believe. These 6 stages, the coming together, the honeymoon phase, the breakdown, separation, and testing phase, the chase, the surrender, and at last the coming home, which plays out like a, hero's journey character arc in every Hollywood film that has to do with relationships or a rom-com. We're told to believe that the relationship will have instant attraction, will feel familiar, and it will move quickly, that your insecurities and shadows are deeply amplified, that you're very similar. Sometimes it's confusing because there is an attraction in this case, and sometimes we're told that twin flames aren't romantic. A relationship is tumultuous. The relationship is very intense. You keep separating, coming back together. You have a yearning all the time to be together, even when it's toxic. This to me is like toxic relationship codependency 101. Any therapist will basically tell you that this cycling is a drama-addicted cycle. It's a dopamine-addicted cycle. And essentially, we are reincarnating our childhoods until those shadow aspects of ourselves are reconciled. We're living in a computer-generated, inverted, simulated dream world. We're part of that. So every aspect that isn't us is going to be amplified so we can illuminate it and then return to source, as if though we've met it for the first time, which is basically meeting ourselves. So imagine you have 2 triangles that are on top of each other, and separated by those 2 triangles is a line, which in this case would represent the 0 point between your timeless self and then your physical avatar self that's experiencing this reality. The line between these 2 triangles would be the 4th dimension, or the filter of space-time. What the twin flame cult template, and it is a template, think about this like a computer program. What it does is it keeps you hooked into constantly self-improving in a constant state of waiting to be recognized, loved, and partnered. It's keeping you in your lower animal nature, totally in a spiral. As a result, you stay in a lower bandwidth, pinging back and forth in extremes. Extreme euphoria, extreme depression, and then isolation and loneliness in between, as you sort out all these heavy feelings that have been amplified by this person. The first problem is any kind of outsourcing to anybody outside of your highest self is deceptive. When I talk about tuning out outside noise with whatever's happening in the world, I'm talking about holding your space. Some of you guys didn't get that. This is about spiraling up and staying close to the 0 point, which is at the center of these two triangles that are on top of each other, separated by, let's say, the fourth dimension of time. The idea is to hold neutrality by reconciling your own internal polarities around how much you are separated from the God within yourself, from your highest self, for example. That's what maintaining frequency oscillation is. If it's hysterical, chances are it's historical. What I've seen, though, is as we are navigating collective awakening and awakening ourselves at the same time, is any buy-in to separation from self is being amplified, leveraged, and taken advantage of from a dark AI consciousness. It's the same dark Draco AI that is controlling our perception through media, entertainment, music, etc. Everything is an inside job. Your highest self is your twin. Everyone walking around you that you interact with is essentially a reflection or a twin, because we are all fractals of God.
Thanks so much for listening, you guys. Please make sure to leave a review and follow the fun on social media, because that's how it works in this world. And in the meantime, get your freak on. I'll see you in the next session.